Well, hello. Welcome to another installment of a series I'm calling Football 101. My name is Theodore, channel name is Dashric, and I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes in the Netherlands. I currently live in Amsterdam, and I've come across a bunch of people while living here that have no real clue about the sport. And I know several people have showed up to our practices at the beginning of our seasons, and they want to try out the sport, but they don't really know much about it other than what they see on the NFL. And that can be really confusing watching an NFL game on a television in a second language when you have no idea what's going on with the sport. This video is more about playing the sport and getting used to terminology that is brought up during practices. This is still at a 101 level. I'm not going to be going too terribly deep into the stuff, but in this video it's going to be gaps. So we are dealing with the line of scrimmage, that's in another video, and we are dealing with the offensive and the defensive linemen. We're going to be doing both at the same time. You'll see what's going on here and why I'm doing both at the same time, because it's a very narrow section of the field, so I don't need to do offense and defense considering they're this far away from each other. Yeah, in real life. So, and this is also pertinent to running backs and linebackers. So, defensive backs, wide receivers, cool. You have other video. So, blue is the line of scrimmage, and we will use that in contrast to black and green for offensive defense. That's going to be very apparent as soon as I get further out with the diagramming here. All right, backing up on this one. Okay, so we have a basic line setup. This is with 4 defensive linemen and 5 offensive linemen with a tight end. I have another video as to describing why it's a Y. So you don't get confused. That's a Y. My handwriting is terrible. So we're going to go over what the spaces in between everybody is. Okay, so we're going to keep consistency here. If you are on the defensive side of the ball, let's just put in a Mike and a Sam and a Will. We'll have a quarterback and a running back. Just for consistency's sakes. You guys all see that? Yep. Okay. Again, I go over positions on the various sides of the ball in other videos. I've got a whole playlist. It'll be linked at the end and down below. So, when you're on the defensive side of the ball, it's really simple. Because as the tight end is over here, and that's a whole other video, this would be called strong left. Because as the defense looks at the ball, that's the left side. So we would have the strong A, the strong B, the strong C, and the strong D. This would be the weak A, the weak B, the weak C, and in case there's another tight end out there, and then you can't really determine which side this thing is, you do have another D out there. See? You really don't go into E's, but usually the D's are left off, and it's just considered outside contain. But that's pretty much how everything's named. So if you are the Mike linebacker and they tell you to blitz the strong A, well, tight end says that's strong. Mike's usually calling that anyways. And then you would run through this gap in between the center and the guard. I mean, that's pretty simple. Defense doesn't have that complicated thing. Momentarily, I'm going to switch over to red so that I can label the gaps for offense. This is probably something much more at the higher levels in Europe. My team doesn't necessarily do this one because we rely on the running back to read the holes, yada yada, so there's no predetermined hole. However, stuff in the States is so complicated sometimes. There is a format of holes for the offensive side. I do apologize because I know about red-green colorblind and I kind of used these in the wrong order, but, you know, we'll do this one. Okay, so from the center, you have a 2, 4, 6, and an 8. So you have a 1, a 3, 5, 7. Does that make sense? Because the offense doesn't necessarily care about the strong side. Now, the 7 in this case could just be spill out, go into the flat areas. Whereas the 8, so we'll add this one here. Let's do this. Hopefully this helps. Like, this diagram in and of itself should be close enough. This is, there is no real 0 gap. I know in one offensive playbook that I saw, the 0 gap is basically right here. It's the middle of it. To be fair, I've seen also ones where it goes like 0 through 9 with like I's and O's, so it's like so this would be like 0, 1, 2, 3I, 3. See what I mean? It's very weird. And the more complicated you get, things can get that way. But that's running backs. So, but in terms of defense, you're needing to know A through D. So this is, as I said, sometimes called a 3-tech, because if you notice, they're lined up over the 4, which on this side is also a 3. I've heard it called a 3-tech. We understand what a 3-tech is, but that's pretty much why we call it. So if your job was to do a 5-tech, a 5 technique, you would be doing out here with like the end. I'm not going to get more complicated than that one, but there's a 3-tech, a 1-tech, and that's getting a little too more complicated right now. I hope that helps everything. I hope this really helps kind of understand gaps and why on offense they use numbers and on defense we use letters. Just how it works, and that's why. Alright, if you have any other questions, just ask them below. I might make another video if it's a decent enough answerable question. If not, I can just type out a sentence. I will catch you guys in another video. Again, playlist is at the end. It's also been up in a card, and it will be linked below. It's just linked all over the place. This is a great playlist. Subscribe if you want to know more, or follow my daily life as an American football player in the Netherlands.